bitches, every city in my tribe. Look behind. Booty dominate the world, peaches ripe.
Hello, welcome back.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. How you doing?
All right. So I had this conversation earlier, and some girl got angry and booed me out the chat. But what's wrong with purity culture?
What's wrong with it?
Yeah. And why are there? I also have to ask this: why are there so many women TikTok like shilling for abortion, talking about how babies are parasites, and it seems like there's a very large number of them doing that. And I have to ask, do you guys have kids? I mean,
Yes.
I definitely do not have kids, but
how can you
still
look at
feel
your
strongly
kids and
about the
like,
topic.
think, yeah, how can you look at your children and think abortion and like advocating abortion is a good thing?
Because abortion is moral.
How's it moral? I'd say it's immoral in every way.
Why is it immoral?
Because it's taking a life. I mean, there's nothing more immoral than destroying something that's innocent and has so much potential.
It has potential, but it's not a life at the time that you're getting rid of it.
And I would reject the framing that it's innocent. I think that's an emotional appeal.
Yeah.
No, I mean, every child is born innocent, or at least a blank slate. You can call it whatever you want, but it hasn't formed anything. It has all
no
the
morality
in the world. What's that? Well, that's much
a
more
fetus
moral.
Has no morality.
No, how is abortion moral?
Well, I don't consider a fetus as a human life with value. And so terminating it, I don't think you're terminating a human life with value.
Wait, were you the one who argued that it's the same as like a person on life support?
Yes.
And I said what? That, at what point does it have value? When it's able to live outside the mother's womb, right?
Right, birth.
Yeah, but what if it's like I said before, what if it's outside the womb on life support? You wouldn't pull the plug on it, right? So I mean, that's a circular argument.
Well, it depends, because I gave you it's not a circular argument. It's not a circular argument.
Yeah, but if you don't understand that that's exactly the same thing, and you don't learn, what's the point of being on here
debating? Not going to
debating?
go on life support.
Well, you really aren't giving any room to explain. You're just kind of in here giving talking point after talking point, and then talking
That's
over
not
me when I
talking
speak.
point. I'm bringing up something we talked about before. Why do like liberal women think using the word talking point is a way to get out of everything? What would you like me to
say? Would you rather have me say topic?
Well, first of all,
I'd rather you say, look, this is what this is what I learned from this conversation.
What?
I'd rather have you say, like, I concede that point, or this is what I learned from this conversation.
But I don't concede that point.
Well, then you're not learning anything. That's what I was getting at.
Well, you don't have good arguments.
Oh, so what was not good about that argument? I'd love to know.
Well, you just said it's hooked to life support. Like, I gave you the qualifier of, look, I go and talk again, and you just start talking. So I already have the assumption that you're really not here to listen. And all you've done when you come on here is just shame.
Okay, yeah. I'm listening. Go ahead.
So when I asked you why a fetus has value, you gave me the qualifiers that it has human DNA and that it is alive, correct?
Right, yeah.
So I gave you another example of a human that has its own unique DNA and that is alive, which is a brain dead person hooked to a machine. And I asked you,
alive.
It is a life, as much as the fetus is. A fetus is cellular life, and so is that brain dead person.
Yes, but when I said, is there any potential for that person to be revived? You said no. That means the person is dead, okay? There's no difference there.
Really,
I said, on that person. You said no.
So
Right. So
really,
so
it's not
hold
the
on.
human DNA. It's not the fact that it's cellular life. For you, the value of a fetus is potential. And when you argue potential, number one, you can always go back and back and back, because essentially sperm has potential. An egg has potential, but I'm sure you don't consider masturbation to be immoral.
No, I would qualify by saying the sperm and the egg, when they combine, make a human life. That's what a human life is by
Oh,
every
so it's
scientific
human
definition.
DNA combined with potential.
Right. It's a human life. But
Right.
what we
You can't
define as a
give
life
value
scientifically.
to potential.
It's not a human life yet, as it's when you
So what point does it
what's it
become a human life?
right.
That was the question that we go. That's why I said it's a circular argument, because I define human life the same way every scientist in the world defines human life.
No, you
No,
don't.
you do not.
Yes, of course I do. This is what
No,
every
and see,
scientist
this
in
is
the
what you
world
don't
agrees on.
understand is that the term
I
life
don't want
has
to appeal to
nuance.
majority. So let's move past that.
The term life has nuance.
Okay, how so?
Let's see. An apple is alive.
Yeah,
A
but we're talking
animal,
about humans.
right? But we're just talking about life. We're not talking about humans. We're talking about life. And I said life is the term has nuance. An apple is alive. A animal is alive. A human is alive. But they all have different types of life.
Okay.
So what separates them?
What separates human life?
Yes.
I'd say first of all, our consciousness. Second of all, our empathy towards other humans, the value that we've assigned to it as a civilization, as a society. And then finally, I'd say the metaphysical or the spiritual. But you don't have to believe in that. That's personal. But I think that there is a deeper connection there with all humanity.
Right. So taking out the metaphysical part, because again, I don't want to get into an argument of spirituality or religion.
Well, that's why I
But
said we
yes,
don't have to talk about
everything that you associate with has to go to the brain. And in the first term, when a majority of abortions happen, the brain isn't even developed.
Okay.
So you're
So
not
if you're
killing
even
anything that's
qualifying
alive
it,
because it doesn't have the
right?
process to it doesn't have the thought process to be able to feel pain or can understand that what's going on. It's literally inside of a woman's body. It's not alive. It's not outside. It's not talking. It's not doing anything. It's literally, it's not even, it doesn't even have brain function yet when the time that you're getting rid of it.
Right, but we know it responds to stimulus. We know that, it's human by every legal definition. So my question is, how
It's
is
not.
abortion more immoral?
Okay.
My question was, how is abortion more immoral than taking a life?
How is
take
it
a life.
more
You want to define
immoral?
life differently, that's okay.
No,
How is your end
Because it's
moral
not taking a life in my
protecting
eyes.
that life?
Because in my eyes,
But
it's not taking a life.
Okay, so okay, and in my eyes, it's not. That doesn't make an argument,
morality
though,
is
is what I'm saying.
subjective.
Well,
right, but I
there
am
are two
making the
types of
case that
morality.
abortion is moral. It is the same on how it is not immoral turning off the machine to someone who is brain dead.
Correct.
Yeah, I didn't say I would. I said I wouldn't do that.
Can I ask you something really quickly?
Yeah.
I know,
If
but
your
that's
dog,
again, to me that shows that your qualifier. Actually, you did say you would do that because they no longer have potential.
yeah.
No, I said that I believe they no longer have potential, but I didn't say I was going to be the one to pull the plug. I said that's
Right,
what you're
but
arguing is that
right,
your
and I
argument
don't think
is
that's
that
immoral.
they don't have potential, that they're already dead. Okay, I'm saying
I'm
that I
saying
wouldn't
that
be
they
the one
don't have
to pull the
value.
plug on somebody that's still alive.
They don't have
Yeah,
value.
but you try to move the goalposts here. When I said
I'm not
that this
moving the
person, I
goalposts.
asked you, can you revive this person? Do they still have the ability to be alive? Will science catch up to them? You said, well, no, they're just dead, So I said, well, at that point,
can I ask you,
there is no potential.
why do you
Yes.
think that people would get an abortion? Like what do you think Like people who get abortions, what do you think their thought process is? Why do you think that they got that abortion?
Well, I think that there is definitely a lot of people who have had this idea put in their head that a baby is nothing more than a fetus. Don't get me wrong. I think a baby's no more than a parasite. I hear women on TikTok say it all the time. I think it's a ridiculous point, and I think it devalues life, and I think it devalues the most important experience you'll ever have as a human. And so, we need to change the culture. Don't get
What
me
do you
wrong.
mean it's the
But
most important
there are-
experience you'll ever
well-
have as a human?
It's
I mean, having children trumps anything you can have as a human and experience. Just bringing a life
So,
into the world.
so you think all people should have children?
I think that they should experience it if they can. Yes.
What if they don't
I
want
think-
children?
Well, I think that's the problem. We've brainwashed people into thinking that it's a burden, and it's not. It's a
It's a
beautiful
choice.
thing.
okay.
That is such a
No one
self-righteous
is saying
opinion.
that it's a
Like,
burden, but some
No, it's
people
not.
just
No,
don't
it's
want
not. We
kids.
know.
it
We know
absolutely
that
is.
only white Western
You do
countries
not
feel
care
this way.
about
Like,
the
everyone else in
individual
the world thinks-
whatsoever.
What's that?
It's not a burden, but the responsibility of raising and educating a child into becoming a good person, someone that you would be proud of raising, that is a difficult thing to do. No one said that being a parent was easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's
And
not.
if you're
It's
just going to
not.
force a woman
easy,
to go
but
through
it's
that
not-
and force them to parent them, then how is that kid going to turn out? And if you want to force them to be pregnant, and then you're just saying, oh, well, we just don't want the baby to die. Well, what if that woman doesn't want to raise that kid? Then what? Do they give it up to adoption? And then they go into the
Yeah, I
foster
mean,
care
that's an
system,
option.
which
I
is so
think
fucked up.
definitely giving babies up to adoption is a great thing. There are lots of families who
Oh,
want
is
to have
it though?
kids.
Because the foster care system is really bad.
The foster care system isn't adoption. The foster care system is government raising your kids, which I thought
Do you know how
lefties
long
were
it
all
takes for
for.
people to get adopted?
Yes, and that's a problem. I agree. I think that we should make adoption very easy. That has been the biggest problem in America. There's some video of a woman going out arguing for abortion, talking to people. Have you had an adoption? Do you know how many people try to get adoption? Well, that's the thing. We've tried, but it's not easy. All right. It's not easy, especially when your wife's an immigrant from another country. That makes it even more difficult. But we plan to. We're working on it right now. So I don't see why that's not an argument that's going to devalue anything I'm saying.
So
Well, because you advocate for it, but you don't do it. And honestly, adoption is not the same
we're
as,
working
it's
on
not the
it, okay?
opposite of abortion. And I don't see how you can find it ethical to force a woman
to give away
to
their child.
sustain pregnancy.
I'm so fucking cute, bitch. I'm so fucking cute.